Hey, 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 everyone. I'm Karen Yankovich. I'm so excited to be here today with Christina Daves. Patty Simone, thank you so much for introducing us to your women-centric audience.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to share today.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to jump in and get started here. So we want to welcome you to, I see we've got lots of people here. Rosa from Ramapo College, Beverly from New Jersey. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I want to welcome you all to a behind-the-scenes look of how to get more clients and customers for your business by using social media and PR together. Christina Daves and I are experts in our respective fields, and we're sharing our social media strategy and public relations know-how to help you get more exposure as a business owner and increase your sales and your profits. So in this training, you're going to learn simple, step-by-step social media and PR strategies that amplify and simplify your workflow, flood you full of raving clients, and build massive trust and value around your business. And what we know, I feel a little bit like Oprah when I say this, but what we know for sure is that more visibility means more customers, which leads to more profits. So before we get started, and I'm going to introduce Christina and Patty to you, but before we get started, I want to let you know that we know as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as sales professionals, right? We know how valuable your time is, and we're so glad that you're joining us here today. So to get the most out of this hour, please go ahead and grab a glass of water, turn off your phone, close the door. Just do whatever you need to do that will help you settle in and focus for the duration of our time. We move really quickly during this workshop, and we now know that studies show that multitasking means we're getting less done, and I really want you to catch everything you can from this. And the bottom line is we're here today because we know how important it is for you to get more customers. We know how powerful these free tools are, social media and PR, to make that happen. So a little bit about me. I'm a social media strategist. I specialize in personal branding. Basically, I help entrepreneurs, small business people, public figures, and creatives. I help them create, develop, and leverage a social media strategy that will increase their profits, right? That sounds simple, social media, but if you're here today, then you know it's not that simple. So Christina's saying, I'm not hearing or seeing anything but static and the YouTube message. Christina, can you I'm just going to type in here to refresh your browser if you're not seeing what you should be seeing.
Yeah, I had to click on her name in order to be able to see what I'm seeing. I had to click on the name in the bottom as a moderator.
Really? Because I'm showing Christina. Everybody should be seeing Christina's screen, only Christina's screen right now. Right. So Christine, refresh your browser and let me know if you can hear and see us now. Maggie from Bergen County, welcome. Hopefully you guys can hear us better now. I don't know what the deal is with this lately, but it's been wonky. I will say, if you have any trouble, if you can hear me now, when you have any trouble, refresh your browser if you're having any problem. Right. Watching the webinar via YouTube works well. Awesome, Maggie. Thanks for letting us know. Okay. So a little bit about how I grew my following, right? In 2015, I grew my combined followers from about 25,000 to over 100,000 because I started to recognize Christine still has nothing. I don't understand. Is anybody else still having a problem seeing and hearing this?
Yeah, just type in if they have a place that they can give you a message, right?
Yeah. Can you see the chat, Patty? You should be able to see the chat as well.
I'm not seeing the chat. Nope. I'm just seeing the
maybe
slide.
That's where you're not logged in. Remember you said you had to pick an account? Maybe that's where you're not logged in to see the chat, because you need to be logged in to see the chat.
Yeah, no, I don't only see the slides. But let's not take time for that if we can still go ahead with it. So Maggie
just put the YouTube link in. So click on that if you want to see it. I'm actually going to pull that up too and mute it because I want to be able to see if you guys put any questions in there. Hang on one second. There we go. Okay. All right. So back to what we're talking about here. Thank you guys for the patience. I realized how important visibility was to the growth of my business. So I made a concerted effort to grow my business. I'm on track to double that 100,000 followers in 2016. And what's really important also is I use social media to generate $25 sales and $20,000 a year clients. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that. And also really important, my email list. I increased my email list by over 400% in 2015. So I want you to meet Christina now and hear a little bit about who she is, and then we'll jump into the content for the webinar.
Thanks, Karen. So I'm the PR piece of our team here, but what's really important for you guys to understand is that I have no background in PR at all. In fact, I double majored in college in political science and German. And I kind of started on an entrepreneurial path early on. I've had all kinds of businesses, from event planning to a brick and mortar retail store, but never anything related to PR. So when you hear all this stuff, this is all just stuff I figured out and did myself. But in 2009, I sold my store. And I quote unquote retired for a year, which never really works when you're an entrepreneur. I had a freak accident the day before I was going to New York City, fashion capital of the world, and that really changed my life. I broke my foot, and if anyone is on the call has ever been in those big, awful, ugly black medical boots, he put me in one of those, and I desperately searched for anything to make it look better, and there was nothing on the market. So I started this company, Cosmetic Designs, which is a fashion accessory line for medical boots. And the problem was, though, that I had created this entire new space in the marketplace, and I had to let the world know, that they needed to decorate their boots. I had no money for advertising or PR. I had way too much inventory, and I had a product that nobody really knew existed. So I was in really big trouble if I didn't figure out how to get some visibility for the product. I made a ton of mistakes along the way, but then I started to figure things out, and I applied these DIY PR systems, and I started booking myself everywhere. And I started selling tons and tons of products, and I was making money. So I've been on shows like the Steve Harvey Show. I've been on Dr. Oz. I've been on local affiliates all over, NBC, CBS, ABC. This is kind of crazy. I've been on my local Fox station 5 times for medical boots, all different stories. And that's really important for you guys to understand, because you don't have to be a one and done with the media. And I've also been in national magazines like Forbes and Success and Entrepreneur, and newspapers like the Washington Post. And I've had celebrities wear my product like Diana Ross. So because of all this, I'm kind of known as this DIY PR maven. It's my expertise. I show people like you how to profit from getting your own free publicity for your product, service, or brand without spending a fortune on advertising or hiring expensive PR firms. I'm a best-selling author on the topic. I've personally appeared in over 250 media outlets. And what's most important is that I have generated well over 7 figures in sales for me and my clients from free publicity. And I've done all of this from outside of the box thinking and getting creative. And that's what I'm here to show you guys today. So how many of you would like to get a few million eyeballs on your business? Everyone would, right? So when I was on the Steve Harvey Show, I got a ton of business, as you can imagine, right? The king of daytime television. I actually won his inventors competition. So I'm always looking for new ways to get exposure, because that one appearance on Steve Harvey, I sold 6 figures of my product, and my products only retail from $7 to $24. So when I saw that Diana Ross was in a medical boot, I was able to get her my product, and she wore it when she sang for the president at Christmas in Washington. So not only did I promote that like crazy, but I went back to the Steve Harvey Show and shared it with them. And guys, with just one email, this is what happened. Let me turn the volume up so you can hear it. Okay.
Miss Ross got hold to one of Christina's boots and started rocking it. So if the one and only diva, the diva of divas, Miss Diana Ross, can rock it, then you know it's got to be good.
Right, can you imagine that, you guys? My sales skyrocketed again, and I basically got $1 million endorsement from Steve Harvey with one email. But why stop with the Steve Harvey Show and a few million eyeballs? What would you guys do to get 7 million eyes on your product? So, whoops, hang on one second. Slideshow's gone crazy. So back in February, I got myself and my product on the Today Show. And if you watched today, you'll remember Savannah was in a boot. And I tried all the traditional methods to get her my product, but it was sweeps. You got to remember this, February sweeps, and they're not going to put just a product on during sweeps. So I took matters into my own hand, and I took a picture of her in her boot, and I superimposed my product on it. And I went to New York City to Today Show Plaza with my big poster, and it worked. I ended up getting over $100,000 in free advertising from all the airtime that they gave me. 7 million people saw cosmetic designs and my decorated medical boots. My website went crazy. And Savannah even came over. She took this picture with me and said, we gave you a ton of airtime. I hope you get a ton of business. So I have so many more stories like this. Imagine if you did something like this, even locally, what kinds of things can you do to get more customers in the door? So check out this great video.
Hey, Christina, can you go back to that old slide for a second?
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt with a little impromptu story that we didn't even talk about, but I hope you agree with me. I want to tell you guys a quick story about a client that Christina and I have been working on together. And basically, we gave them a few little simple social media and PR strategies for an Indiegogo campaign that they were creating. And they connected with an influencer who posted it on social media, right? So that's where the social media and PR works together, right? And I just checked today, Christina, they're at 252% of their goal in Indiegogo in a week and a half.
Wow.
By connecting with one solid influencer. Obviously they have a strong product, right? It's not, but with the right placement, with a little strategy, they, beyond anybody's expectations, blew it up. And I'm just sharing this because this literally just happened this week.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy fun stuff. All right, so continue, Christina. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. And again, we're talking about, things, marketing for today. So check out this video.
We all know that place. The pizza joint that used to be a massage clinic that used to be a florist. A daycare. Dojo. And a nail salon. Was it the location? Or did they not know how to market their business to stay in business?
Right, and that's what Karen and I are talking about. Marketing your business to stay in business like it's 2016. We want you to stop marketing like it's 1999, which is really a detriment to today's business. We want you thinking in terms of 2016 and thinking in today's marketing strategies versus outdated ones. And here's a perfect example. How many of you guys on the call today have heard of the app Venmo? So Venmo is an app to exchange money, and it's really geared towards millennials, but especially millennials, they don't write checks anymore. They Venmo money back and forth. It's instant. There's no actual cash involved. There's no paper involved. It's just sending money from one account to another. So I have a son. Whoops. Sorry about that. The slide's a little messed up, but I have a son who's a freshman in college, and that's how they pay for everything. He's the treasurer of his pledge class, and that's how everyone pays him back. And then I don't know if we have any college football fans, but earlier in the season, Virginia Tech, which is my alma mater, played Tennessee in the Battle of Bristol, which was the biggest college football game ever. And look at this poster in the background. So Sam said, "Hi, Mom, send beer money," and put his Venmo account. And would you believe
that is classic.
Isn't that awesome? He got $3,000 from random people Venmoing him money for beer. That's absolutely crazy, right?
Yes. But the power of how it can work, right? Like you said, the power of using the strategies of 2016.
Exactly. And that's the fun part of Venmo, right? How you can use it, how our kids use it. I don't think any of my kids even own checks, which is on my list of you need to have a check, but that's besides the point. But what does it mean for us? What does it mean for entrepreneurs, for business owners? What it means is that we have to be on the cutting edge when these digital phenomenons are happening, like Venmo. We need to be on the know what it means for our business. And I'll give you an example. My case, I actually just sold my house in northern New Jersey, and I'm buying a house, a private sale from somebody I know, and she, and we're just doing a private mortgage. She's holding a private mortgage for me, which is probably more information than you all need to know. But what you do need to know is that she said, I don't want to have to deal with checks and going to the bank. I'm like, neither do I. I'm going to Venmo her my mortgage payments. Right? I'm going to Venmo her my mortgage payments. So it was a way for us to it's win-win, right? Neither one of us are spending any money to do it. Neither one of us have to go to the bank. And it was a way to make this happen, right, in a way that supports both of us abundantly, right? So we as business owners have to be watching these trends and changing along with them. So, Christina, can we have the next slide?
Oh, maybe there's a delay.
Yeah, I don't see the new slide. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So let's take a look at this, right? This is how keep it staying back in 1999, right? This is how realtors marketed in 1999, right? I didn't buy my house out of a newspaper thing. I didn't sell my house in a newspaper. When I bought my house that I just sold originally, I went to an open house that I saw in a newspaper, just like this. But how many customers do you think realtors get today if they're marketing online in their local newspaper, right? And even newspapers know this. They know that our eyes aren't on the actual newspaper, right? How many people here have read a news story in the last week or the last month on their iPad, on their iPhone, or on their laptop or their computer, right? So in order for newspapers to stay in business, and we're still calling them newspapers, but they're not papers anymore, right? They're news outlets, right? So a lot of you are here from northern New Jersey, I noticed. So think the Bergen Record or the Northern New Jersey News. I don't even know what they're called anymore, right? The
Suburban News.
The Bergen News.
The Suburban News, Town Journal.
They're not even newspapers anymore, right? It's not a newspaper. It is a news outlet. So they knew that they had to move their content to where their audience's eyes are. So like with Venmo, we, like the newspapers, have to know where our prospects' eyes are. So, but what if you're a pizzeria, right? You think Giovanni is still taking ads out in the local paper, or is he Instagramming mouth-watering pictures of his special of the day, right? Hopefully Christine, who's on this call, patronizes Giovanni's Pizza, because if she does, we know that there's going to be some great Instagram pictures of the special of the day, right? So which do you think gets someone to walk in his door and buy a slice of pizza? Here's what we do know. We know that 67% of a typical buyer's journey is now done digitally. And here's some more. So Christina, I need the slide. Here we go. Okay.
I don't know what the delay is. I'm on it. It's just must be.
Okay. So I'll just talk slower. That probably will be better for everyone anyway. So this slide, some of you may have seen this slide if you've been to some of the talks I've done in Northern New Jersey recently. There's 7.4 billion people in the world, and 3.4 billion. So they're saying a 46% penetration are internet users. Now, I think that's a much higher number, because when they count the population, they count babies. Obviously, they're not internet users, right? They count people that live in parts of the world that don't even have electricity, never mind internet. So I think that penetration is much, much higher. And of that 46%, 2.3 billion are active social media users. Again, they're saying the penetration is 31%, but if we're going to go with that, we don't want to count the babies and the people in the world that don't have electricity. They're not our target markets anyway. That penetration is probably more like 80%. And active social media users doesn't mean the guy that created a Facebook page in 2006 and hasn't been on it since then. Active means daily, right? Regularly. So, this is only going to keep on growing. And it's important, it's vital to consider your digital footprint when you're marketing in 2016 and beyond, right? If you know me at all, you know I'm a massive LinkedIn evangelist. And the reason for that is if you're going to market online in 2016, people are going to Google you, right? They're going to throw your name into a Google search. And what's going to come up, if you've taken the time to do this properly, is your LinkedIn profile. And in that LinkedIn profile, you can tell people what you want them to know about you. Right? How cool is that? So you can take control of that digital footprint. I mean, listen, you can ignore it and hope that they keep, what will happen is they'll keep searching till maybe they find things you don't want them to know about, right? Or maybe your high school prom pictures or something that isn't really what you would want the world to be your first impression. Or you can take control of that footprint and increase the visibility of that footprint with strategy and with keywords. So we need to be regularly Googling ourselves and then taking control of what we're finding in that digital footprint.
You're right. And Karen, I have the perfect example of that. So 2 years ago, if you had Googled my name, Christina Daves, Christina Aguilera actually came up. And there's a famous Christina Daves in Atlanta who sings the national anthem for the Braves and the Falcons. But today, if you Google me, I come up on the first 14 pages of Google, like all across all 14 pages. And this was all done organically and through free publicity. And I mean, it didn't take that long. 14 pages took me 2 years. So, and it's impressive when, you know, a prospective client checks me out and sees that. So imagine if you're a seasoned realtor and you see this kid, like, what is he, 18 years old, come on as an expert on television. You know, how does that make you feel? That should be you on there, right? What do you think happens if someone is checking out local jewelers on Facebook and they see a page like this with 150,000 likes? You know, are they going to go to the jewelry store with 100 likes, or the one that seems to be what most people like that has 150,000? Imagine you own a retail boutique and you're holding an annual, you know, your holiday open house, but nobody shows up. They're all at your competitors because they were using Facebook Live and Periscope and teasing people with what they were going to see at their open house. So Karen and I want to help you with all of this today. So today we are going to show you how to get massive exposure for your business by mastering getting on television, radio, and magazines and newspapers for free. We're going to show you how to turn your social media fans, friends, and followers into high-paying customers. We're going to share with you the one thing that you need to have in your social media bag of tricks for maximum profitability. We're going to share with you how to gain exposure to get more clients and customers. And we're going to show you how to use social media to connect and build relationships with the media to amplify your efforts. You know, so what does all of this mean for you and your business? Well, it means that you get to be seen as the expert. You reduce that huge social media and PR learning curve. You can be strategic instead of random in your work. And you get more people working with you, which massively increases your profitability. Oh,
Okay.
Karen?
Karen, are you there?
Sorry, guys, I muted myself when Christina was talking and I forgot to unmute myself. Okay, so what all of this boils down to is visibility, right? We've been trying to create more visibility for ourselves forever, for our businesses, right? So smoke signals, visibility, yellow pages, visibility, planes flying over the beach while you're sitting there working on your tans in the summer in New Jersey, visibility, right? We need visibility in order for our businesses to flourish.
So I want to share with you guys a story of a client of mine who's a doctor of naturopathy. And she's done all of her own publicity and has been featured in every major health and beauty magazine and program you can think of. She's gotten massive visibility using free publicity. So what kind of credibility do you think that gives her when people come to her website to check her out and they see that she's been quoted in all of these national publications, right? She's a rock star in her industry.
So what do you think happens when someone sees her in one of these magazines, right? They go and check her out. They put her name in a Google search, right? And hopefully she's taken control of that, right? Hopefully, if they have done this, she's got a way to capture email addresses on her website. So she's able to regularly grow her email list with all of these media appearances, right? This is how we start creating profitable strategies around PR and social media and marketing. But where do you start, right? So what you start with is a strategy. For today, we're going to call that strategy list building. The strategy here is that you want to get warm leads so that you can begin to establish trust, and that can be done through an email list. So many businesses we speak about or we speak to don't know how to grow an email list or don't even know the value of that. So you're going to learn how to grow your business by growing your email list. I double or triple the size of my email list every year very deliberately. We're putting those exact same systems into this process today. And this is really, really important. A huge part of your social media strategy is determining how to move people from being social media followers to opting in to be on your email list. Now, I'm going to say that again. A big part of your social media strategy is determining how to move people from being social media followers to opting in to be on your email list. Listen, we love having lots of followers. I talk about all the time about how growing my followers grows my visibility, but the strategy is to get those followers onto my email list, because that's where the money is. Mark Zuckerberg tomorrow can decide he wants to shut down Facebook. So all that work you did to grow your page to 10,000 or 20,000 followers is now out the window. You don't have control of that. I mean, remember Blab? Right? I loved Blab. I miss Blab. Blab decided one day to close the doors. So if you did a lot of work to grow your presence on Blab, you know, it's all gone. It's just gone. So one way to start to take control of your social media, to start the path to profitability, is to drive those social media followers to your email list. And what we know is social media strategy and public relations savvy, right, leads to getting your business seen and being seen and heard. And that's why Christina and I have started this this business. So we've developed a 3-phase system based on our experiences with our private clients so that you can start to get in on that magic too. The 3-phase system shows you the secret to being seen as social media, as a rock star using social media, the secret to getting media attention, and a little known trick for using social media and PR together for powerful results. So in phase 1, you're creating a social media plan that leads to profits. So think about how this applies to your business and see yourself applying these principles with the knowledge you hear today in this training. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. There's so much you can do with a solid social media strategy. This is where you start to see the profits soar, right? But where do you start? You start with a goal for your social media marketing. You reverse engineer your social media plan to get the kind of profitable results mentioned above, right? This is what most people overlook, that they can't hide behind their computer and expect to have a fantastic social media marketing campaign. So of course there's going to be more than one goal, and each goal needs to have its own social media strategy, right? Maybe those cat videos on Facebook are really strategic, but for the sake of being able to dig into one topic deeply, we're going to focus on list building today. We already touched on how powerful list building can be for your business. Imagine for a second if you could create a social media strategy that builds your mailing list every single day. This is what we want for you. We want you to understand the power of social media, and remember, this is measurable. So some of you may be thinking, I can pay my kid or my neighbor to post pictures on Facebook for me, right? And yeah, your son or your daughter could do that for you, but at what cost to your business? Right? There's no strategy involved. And if it's just random posting, then there'll be no results. I actually have a client that reached out to me yesterday asking me questions about Instagram, telling me her 12-year-old granddaughter was going to be posting for her. Like, after I stopped banging my head against the wall, I gave her a little strategy and said, you know, let me talk to your 12-year-old granddaughter before she does anything else for you. And this is a very successful business owner, by the way. So this is not just you that's doing this. I promise you she's going to be calling me in a couple months saying, I don't know why we're doing Instagram, it doesn't work. Right? I promise you that's going to come next. But let's say you do go this route, right? You tell your son or your daughter or your granddaughter that you want 5 Facebook posts a week. That's all you want. So they do it, right? They post one post every other day or so on Facebook, and what happens? Nothing happens, right? That's what's going to happen to my client. Nothing. Not one new client comes in, not one old client calls and says they saw something on Facebook, and then you start thinking, Facebook doesn't work. Right? What an awful feeling, right? So with all due respect, we want to tell you that if you're just randomly posting 5 posts a week on Facebook, it's not going to work. It won't increase your business. So you need to take time to decide what the end game is and educate yourself on the fact that social media is the beginning of the funnel. Take control of that, and it's not a magic wand for bringing in clients, right? Let that be a bonus when it happens. So let's just talk about that funnel for a minute. So, you know, social, as you can see, if you're looking at this funnel here, social media is at the top of the funnel. Sales is at the bottom of the funnel. What you're doing with social media and with PR, we really should have PR on there, is increasing your visibility, right? Letting more people know who you are, right? And then hopefully, if you're doing it strategically, if you're using it to grow your email list, right, you're driving traffic to your website, because on your website is where they can opt in to be on your email list. So now, okay, if 100,000 people saw you on social media, maybe 10,000 are going to click and go to your website. And now from that, how many of them are going to opt in to be on your email list? Well, maybe that's 1,000, right? Now those are leads. Maybe those 1,000 people that now opted in to be on your email list, now they're getting your emails consistently. That now from that 1,000, that's where the sales happen. So if you don't understand this and you think that you're just throwing crap out on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter to make sales, you're not going to be as effective. And I'm not going to say that's never going to happen. Let that be the bonus, right? Get things into the top of the funnel, right? So social media is at the top, driving traffic to your website, which is hopefully capturing leads that are turning into sales. See how that works? So back to our list building strategy, you need a plan for best practice for social media marketing and set measurable goals for that best practice. So in phase 1, you must set a goal, right? For the purposes of this workshop, we talked about list building was going to be that goal. And of course, there's many other goals a business can and will have, right? So we're talking about setting a list building growth goal. And this is important because it's measurable. On Facebook, you probably know that getting eyes on posts isn't easy these days, right? So usually we recommend an ad budget when you want to grow your Facebook page. And I'm not talking about complicated retargeting strategies. I'm talking about a budget to boost some posts and get more likes. Right? A normal posting strategy for Facebook is 1 or 2 times a day. Each post has a purpose, even the inspirational ones or the cat videos, and they're scattered in messages over the week. But at least 3 times a week, I want you to post a juicy picture of something that grabs attention and gives the opportunity to grab a freebie, right? And of course, that adds people to your email list. And those are the posts that often get boosted, right? So I have a free video series. I have a couple of things that are, that get people on my email list. I post those a couple times on my Facebook page because this is the beginning of the path to using Facebook to grow my email list. And if you're not sure what type of freebie to offer, search Get Seen, Be Heard in Facebook and come join our Facebook group that Christina and I run, and we will help you brainstorm that. But it's really important that you have a plan. Okay, so listen to what one of our students had to say after she boosted her very first post on Facebook.
First week or 2, I was intimidated in what you were asking us or telling us we should do. And then I got over myself and, as you suggested, did little things and tweaked my LinkedIn page. And then I had this suggestion from you. I went on my Facebook business page. I paid $9 for a Facebook boost of my new listing, which is a 55 and older first floor.
Oh no, did we lose it?
Yeah, Christina, we can't hear the rest of the video. Christina? Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Christina.
That's why. So hopefully she's logging back in again.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I will tell you at the end of that. It still says she's here, but I don't see her picture. What happened at the end of that boost is she boosted a post for $9, and she, there goes our slide
that's
too.
why she's gonna have to log back in.
Yeah, she'll be back in a minute. So she boosted a post for $9. I don't remember how many hundreds of people saw the post, but she got 3 solid leads for that property on a $9 boosted Facebook post. So she's like, so it's just, sometimes it's just the little things, right? She didn't spend $400 on boosting that post. She spent $9 on boosting that post. Let me just quickly text Christina and just let her know we lost her, in case she doesn't know that.
Right.
Anyway, that's really for $9. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm just going to keep talking, even though you guys can't see the slides. And yeah, I'm going to just say log back in. She just said she got kicked out.
Yeah. She'll be back soon.
Log back in. Okay, here she comes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking. On Twitter, it's even easier. So on Facebook, we talked about putting a couple of posts a day. Oh, wait, I got to make this. You're back, Christina. Let me just make this so that it's the sticks. Okay, so on Twitter, it's even easier. A big part of the goal is to grow your followers very strategically. That involves tweeting a lot every hour, maybe 20 to 30 times a day. If that number sounds crazy to you, remember that Twitter's noisy and requires a regular posting strategy kind of all day long, every day. But mixed into those tweets are 4 or 5 posts per day, most that have pictures that drive traffic to an email opt-in gift, and no additional budget is needed for boosting posts. On Instagram, it's even easier. You only have one clickable link, so be sure it's to something that points the followers to a page that grows your email list, right? And then several times a week, post a picture that leads to click the link in my bio to get your free blah, 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 right? You get the picture here. You're directing this strategy, and it's not rocket science. Okay, it's simple, simple stuff. And here's a bonus tip. Create a separate page to drive the traffic to, a lead page, if you will. When you drive traffic to the home page to get on your email list, and I do recommend you put the email opt-in on the home page as well, but when you drive your social media traffic to your home page, then your followers might get distracted, right? They might see a cool video you have there, or which is what you want them to do when they're on your home page, right? Go down a rabbit hole and check out your website, but they might not ever get around to actually giving you their name and email address. So you want all the links on all your tweets and Facebook posts, all your social media traffic to go to this unique lead page or squeeze page or landing page, right? Because once the follower gives you their name and email address, then you can pop up the home page where they can get more information, right? So this is lead acquisition gold, I promise you. And remember too that this is measurable. How often can you point to something measurable that shows its ROI with your social media, right? Not that often. These techniques that I talked to you about earlier, I get probably 10 opt-ins to my email list every day. That's all on autopilot from my social media. And you can do the math on that. You know how many that means? That means I'm, without even me promoting anything, I'm getting about an additional 3,000 people, is that right, per year on my email list. So you just have to set up metrics, right? Set up metrics so that you can, you can count this stuff. Create a Google sheet, log the number of followers across social media, right? Measure each month how they grow, and measure the numbers of people on your email list and how that grows, right? This is your social proof. This is big deal stuff, and it's so, so easy. So think about some measurable goals you can list for yourself and write them down, right? And then think about some strategies you can use for this that maybe some of you have heard here, and write that down and create a worksheet listing facts and figures, dates, numbers of followers, whatever's relevant. Update it monthly. It only takes a few minutes a month. It's not even a half hour a month. And if the numbers aren't moving, what can you do differently, right? And don't forget engagement. If you can track that a high percentage of posts are getting great engagement, that's also measurable. So we've created, if you want, a free tracking worksheet. You can check that out. If you text SM Tracker to 33444, you'll get a template. You're welcome to use it. It's our gift to you. So, let's talk about your offer for a second. Okay, let's talk about your offer for a second. What could you offer in return for getting an email address from someone, right? So think about those kinds of things. And I offered you to come on over to our Facebook group. We should actually put that on the slide for another presentation, Christina. Just type in Get Seen, Be Heard in Facebook and ask to join the group, and we can help you brainstorm your offer. This is how you start using social media profitably. So now we're going to move on to phase 2, the secrets to getting in the media. Christina, I can't hear you talking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but don't hear her at all.
Make sure you're not muted. I can pick this up, but we do want to hear you. They don't want to just hear me talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's go back to this. Yeah, I think we need a new webinar format.
I think so too. I think this is about my last time I'm using Webinar Jam, I think.
Yeah, hang on, just give me 1 second. Let me get this back up. Okay, you guys can hear me.
You know what? It was working great for so long, and then Google Hangouts made some changes, and it hasn't worked since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so phase 2 is PR. Karen talked all about social media, and this is what I love and I'm passionate about because I've done so much of this, and I've done it all by myself for free, and I've had amazing success, and I've helped other people have amazing success, so I know that you guys can have it too. So what is publicity? It's not advertising. That's really important. And I'm sure that most of you on this call at some point have paid for advertising. And I'm not talking about boosting a post, like Karen mentioned. I'm talking about in your local newspaper, on the radio, having postcards printed. It's something that you pay for. It's a message you create and that you push out to people. But the cool thing about publicity is that when somebody else writes about you or talks about you on TV, they have decided to use you or your business in their story, so it has all this extra credibility. And that's why they call publicity earned media. It's somebody else telling the world how great you are. So it's not advertising that you've paid for, it's a neutral third party talking about you, and it's free. You don't ever pay for publicity, you get it for free. So here is the perfect example. Everybody has a Joe's Pizza in their community, right? Tony's Pizza, Joe's Pizza. So you're flipping through your local Gazette newspaper and you see an ad for Joe's Pizza and it says, best pizza outside of New York City. And then you flip a few pages further, sorry guys, and there's an article that says hidden New York pizza gem. And the person who wrote the article has, moved from Brooklyn 3 years ago, and they say, oh my gosh, I haven't had a slice of pizza this good that tastes like New York pizza since I left. So which one of those is going to make you want to go to Joe's Pizza, the ad or the article? The article, right? So everyone knows Sir Richard Branson, billionaire business owner of the Virgin brand. He can certainly afford advertising, but he's been quoted as saying, publicity is absolutely critical. A good PR story is infinitely more effective than a full-page ad. And that's because of that third-party trust. It's the earned media. You didn't pay for spreading your message. Somebody else is spreading it for you. So if Richard Branson, who has billions to spend on advertising, is saying how valuable PR is, don't you think it's worth your time to listen to all of this and see how easy it is to get publicity? So imagine if you were listed as an expert on any of these national media outlets. What would it do for your business? How much credibility?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, we lost her again? That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, well, I can do this. I just can't change the slides. How much credibility would that give you? And what could you charge now that you're on national media outlets, right? Do you want to see? So Christina's going to come back to us in a minute. I hope and pray, because she's going to show us a little test. You guys, I hope when you get the we'll make sure you get a replay on this, which we don't always do, but we'll make sure you get a replay on this because
all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, the technical difficulties are crazy. I can't even do this piece without the slides. So, you know what I'll do? Why don't we do this now? Why don't I, while we're waiting for Christina to come back, or she is back. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to be
Here
back
we
in a
go.
second.
Here she is.
Okay.
Christina, we can't hear you again, but we can see it. Hang on, let me just text her and tell her we can't hear us in case she can't hear us. Okay, maybe she can't hear us now. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you're using a lot of these platforms.
Yeah, Google Hangouts made some changes, and they're using YouTube now. And Webinar Jam says it shouldn't make a difference, but it clearly
making a
does
difference,
make a
yeah.
difference. Usually
Right,
it's me that's having all the technical difficulties.
Yeah,
not
we can hear you
Christina.
now.
It's the craziest thing. We've had so much trouble with this program the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think we're done with it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we can see the guy now?
Yes,
Yeah, we can see the guy now.
Okay. So you guys type in the chat box, how many of you would be willing to hire this person as your financial advisor? Why or why not?
And you can type in YouTube too. I'm monitoring the YouTube chat as well. So you can type in the Webinar Jam chat or the YouTube chat. Would you hire this guy? And if so, or if not, why? And of course, there's a delay in all of that as well. But why don't you?
So most people say no, right? He's disheveled. It looks like he just got in from last night. But what about now when you see the logos on there? And all of a sudden, people's perception changes like, oh, maybe it was windy when he ran in for his headshot, or because of the credibility that those media logos bring to you. And there's actually studies on this that show that these logos provide credibility for you in your business. So that's why it's so important. That's why all the stuff I'm showing you today, because Imagine if you were able to have all these logos on your website. What would that mean for your business? And it bears repeating. We keep saying this, but that being that expert in the industry gives you more visibility, which gives you more customers, which gives you more profits. All right, how many of you guys feel like this when you think about pitching the media, right? I know I did when I first started, but with anything, when you first start, you're green, right? Always. And then it's kind of some muscle memory, and you just get better and better at it. And that's how pitching the media is. So if I can't convince you, and you have to remember, the media is 365, 24/7. They're always looking for stuff. But if you still feel this way, I want you to watch this video with Lester Holt from NBC and 2 of the anchors from the Washington, D.C. market.
It's a privilege to cover the news. It's also a responsibility.
One of the things that I really do find joyful, people are not shy, and they don't mind approaching any of us in the grocery store, at the bar.
That makes us better.
Absolutely.
I really think that. I love when people give you feedback. It makes us better.
One of the things that I really like is the number of story ideas that come from our connections to the community.
Okay, did you hear that last part? She said they love story ideas that come from their connections to the community. So how do you start getting media coverage for your business? Well, I figured out this system that's really easy to use to get publicity, and I'm telling you guys, this works over and over and over again. I call it the 3 pillars to PR success. You need 3 things in place to massively increase your odds of getting publicity. You have to be newsworthy, you have to be able to write a great hook, and you need to find the right journalist. And why do you need all 3? Well, let's say you've got a newsworthy story idea, and you know how to write a great hook, so they'll read your newsworthy story idea, but you don't know the right journalist. Well, they're not going to forward it on for you. They're just going to delete your email. Let's say you have a newsworthy story idea and you know the right journalist, but you don't know how to hook them in on the subject line. Email's gone. Or let's say you know how to write a great hook and you know the right journalist, but then your story kind of stinks. Well, guess what? They're probably never going to read emails from you again because they're really busy. So in a minute, I'm going to go over how you make yourself newsworthy, but I want to briefly touch on the other 2 just so you understand the whole concept. So hooks are headlines. It's what you use to draw the journalists in to read your email. And once you get the hang of it with a bit of training, they're really super easy to write. So if you want to see examples of great hooks, let's say look at magazine covers. You know, people get paid a lot of money to hook you in to buy their magazine when you're right there in the grocery store line. My favorite is AARP. I think they're brilliant. All you have to do is Google AARP magazine covers and you can see hundreds of them. They're the best I've seen. You can take theirs and kind of plug and play your ideas on it. Here are a couple that either I've used or my clients have used to get the feel. Car seats and coats, a deadly combination. This was years ago. A client of mine has a patented coat for kids in car seats. And then all the studies started coming out. I'm sure you guys have seen them over the last couple of years. But she knew this ahead of time, like years ago. That's why she invented this coat. But if you put a child in a car seat with a big puffy winter coat and you're in an accident, the filler disintegrates and it actually can be deadly to a child. So this was perfect for her to pitch. And it was a startling pitch that was like, you know, makes you think, you know, car seats and coats, you don't think of being deadly together. College is the worst investment a parent can make. That was a client who was on Fox in Chicago. That's the #3 market. I am the parent of a college student. I want to know, why is that the worst investment I'm making? And this one was one of mine. What skiers fear most, and it's not an avalanche. And it was that you end up in the lodge looking terrible in your medical boot. But I'd love to share this one too, because I submitted that to Beaver Creek and Vail Magazine a year prior to it being accepted. So that's really important to remember, that sometimes they hold these good story ideas. So it's not necessarily a no, but it could be a not now. You know, it's just not a fit right this minute. So I don't want you guys to give up or lose excitement about pitching the media. And I've interviewed tons of journalists and they all say the same thing. You know, they might be too busy to email back right then, but they keep a file on their desk and they put all the good ideas that they're pitched in there. And then if there's a fit for it, they'll reach out to you. So I want you to think about where your customers are. You know, what media are they looking at? What do they do? What do they read? What do they watch? Check the demographics. You know, that's where you want to get publicity. It's great to be on the Today Show, but if you're a local roofer, the best that's going to give you is credibility. You're probably not going to get a lot of local customers from that one appearance. You want to be in your local newspapers, on your local news, talking about how to prevent leaky roofs and who to call if they have one. And then the last part of the process is finding the right journalists. And that's what Karen and I work on together, and using social media to find these journalists, to connect with them, to share their work. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. So if you have all three of these in place, you guys are going to be light years ahead of your competition. All right, so what can you do right now to get publicity? So as I mentioned above, you need to come up with things that make you newsworthy. You know, build some good relationships with journalists and pitch good stories. And you might be saying, Christina, what's a good story? So a good story is one that's appealing to their audience. You know, think about what you would want to watch on TV or what you would want to read in a magazine. This is not necessarily about selling your product or service. It's positioning you as an expert or a source for a story. And I just met with someone this week, and he refused to do that. He only wanted to pitch mainstream media what he wanted them to know about him, and he keeps getting turned down. And I told him that, and I said, until you're willing to comply with what they want to cover, you're not going to get mainstream media coverage. So you have to be willing to make yourself newsworthy in a way that fits their magazine or their television station or what they're talking about. And I want you guys to start thinking outside of the box. You know, you're not like he was trying to do. Don't think of pitching, hey, I'm great. It's what value can you provide the audience? So let's say you're a realtor. So it's not, hey, I'm Susie Realtor, buy a house for me. It's, hi, I'm Susie Realtor, and I can show you 3 bang for your buck upgrades to do before you sell your house. You know, that's something newsworthy because it's valuable to an audience. If you were about to sell your house, wouldn't you want to know what you could do easily and inexpensively to make it sell better? Of course you would. And that's actually a pitch that we've successfully used before. So it's providing value to the reader, to the viewer, but positioning you as the expert so you get your name out there and you get exposure for your business. Remember, it's earned media, it's third-party credibility. So a newspaper or television program using you as the expert makes you more credible to the audience, and then the audience becomes your potential customer. So, you know, we'll go back to the realtor example. Many of you are going to concentrate on your local market. You know, that's where your customers are. And remember, the goal of publicity is to get more business or generate more leads, which is really list building like we've been talking about today. So if you can get yourself mentioned in the local paper, on local television, it could be a potential windfall of new business, right? So Barbara Corcoran, who I love, of Shark Tank fame, she said it best: if you can steal the limelight, you'll steal the market share. And that's really what we're doing here, right? We're getting seen by more and more people. So that's exactly what we're going to show you, just how easy it is to stand out in the crowd and get visibility so that thousands, even millions of potential new customers, like I did with the Today Show, can find me and not my competition. So Barbara Corcoran built her $66 million real estate company solely on that premise. And I don't know if you guys know her story or not, but it's a really good one. It was 1986, and her company was $360,000 in debt. She couldn't afford advertising, but she had to figure out a way to generate new business, right? Or she's gonna have to shut her doors. So she decided to get really creative with the power of publicity. They had sold 11 properties that year, and she took the average price of it, and she created this document called the Corcoran Report, and she put a tagline on it that said, you know, conditions and trends in the New York City housing market, and she mailed it to all the writers at the New York Times. And a week later, they ran a story that said, New York apartment prices hitting an all-time low, and they said, according to Barbara Corcoran of the Corcoran Group. So ding, 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 after that, she started publishing this report regularly, and the press loved it. They kept covering her. So it basically exploded her business. And she was quoted as saying, if I'm quoted as the authority in my industry, everybody thinks I'm smart. And so that's how I parlayed my brand into a very big brand with very little money, because I was smart enough to publish statistics. And she also said, I became a larger than life figure for one reason only. When you're quoted in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times constantly as the expert in the business, people assume you're a lot bigger than you are. And this is so important to realize the power of publicity and what it can mean for your clients, or for you or your clients, whoever you're doing this for. You know, you can make yourself the guru in an industry just by being creative with newsworthy stories. You know, do like Barbara did and use local statistics and create a story. They recently ran a story on my local news about how my county's classrooms were overcrowded compared to the neighboring 2 counties. And the first thing I thought of, if I'm a realtor, I should pitch a story about what that means for home prices and values in my county. So know what's going on in your local market and pitch creative stories around that. Now, another great tool is something that's called the non-traditional calendar. Has kind of crazy off-the-wall holidays. You guys are probably all familiar with National Pancake Day. You know, IHOP does that every year, but there are thousands of other ones. I've been on television for National Healthy Foot Month. I have a client who's a business communications expert who wrote a book on honesty, and he's regularly on for National Honesty Day. This is a cupcakery in Washington, D.C., and you might be thinking this is National Cupcake Day, but they actually thought outside of the box and got very creative. If you look on the left, you'll see the plate of bacon. So they launched their maple bacon cupcake on National Bacon Day, which I love. And this is another client of mine, the Light of Healing Hope Foundation. They donate their inspirational books to hospices and hospitals around the country. This one, they were featured for Random Acts of Kindness Day. They were also featured in Huffington Post for National Service Day. This is another person that I work with, Be Good to People, if you guys know that brand. And they encourage kindness. They were featured in Parade Magazine, which is amazing, again, for Random Acts of Kindness Day. You know, Parade Magazine, that's in every single newspaper across the country. And here's a bakery that was featured for National Donut Day. But what they did that was really cool, and look at the hat that she's wearing. The donut came from France during World War I when the Salvation Army went over, and they tasted this fabulous fried dough, and they brought it back. So what they did, this bakery did National Donut Day, but they partnered with the Salvation Army. And the media loves collaboration, so think about that with your pitches too. So I think you get the picture. There's lots and lots and lots of opportunities with the non-traditional calendar. So that's kind of phase 2, that's PR. And now we're going to move on to phase 3. So phase 1 was social media, phase 2 is PR, and now we're going to show you how they work together for the magic to happen. So in all of my DIY PR success, one of the key tactics that I figured out was how to use social media to get myself in front of journalists. I got myself on my local Fox station by tweeting the anchor. I was a guest on the Dr. Oz show because I had connected with the producer on LinkedIn, built a relationship with her, helped her book other guests for the show, and then when a spot was ready for me, I was the one that she reached out to be a guest.
And this is, you know, this is where we start talking a little bit about influencer marketing, right? So there's 2 parts to influencer marketing. I'm going to talk a little bit about both, but this part is, how do you reach out to people influential to you? So the people that are influential to your business, like the journalists that the Fox anchor that Christina tweeted, and like the producer on Dr. Oz that Christina reached out to on LinkedIn, you know, think about who could be influential to you and your business. And if you think that influential people aren't using social media, check out this Twitter exchange. I almost don't even have to have this in here anymore because we're so used to our influencers using social media now. But this was a year ago when Bill Clinton, when Barack Obama, the president of the United States, joined Twitter. So Bill Clinton tweeted him and said, "Welcome to Twitter, @POTUS. One question, does that username stay with the office? #asking for a friend." And President Obama's response, and again, I don't care who you're politically aligned with, you've got to understand how fun this conversation is. President Obama replied, "Good question, @Bill Clinton. The handle comes with the house. Know anyone interested in @First Lady of the U.S.?" So of course that's fun, and kudos to their social media teams for this exchange. But what it shows you is how they know where their audience is. They know their audience is on social media, so that's where the conversation is, right? Speaking of politics, Is there a person in this world looking for visibility more than these two people, right? And where do you see most of the activity that is happening now with the US election? It's on social media, right? So I've been retweeted by Donny Osmond. I've had Twitter conversations with several big name celebrities, and it's so much fun. And of course, while it's fun, that's not really the point, right? The point isn't that I got retweeted by my childhood crush, right? The point is that you can be directing a Twitter campaign that can get you this kind of attention. Okay, so let's get back to the strategy here. Christina talked a little bit about how to find the media. What you want to start doing now is to start to connect with them everywhere. Because here's the thing, what do you think happens to your list building efforts when there's a media appearance? When you're quoted in an article, right? Your list grows exponentially. You've seen this a few times now, but a bigger list brings more visibility, more customers, more profits, right? So we talked earlier about Twitter and how you want to develop a strong strategy around posting on Twitter with a goal in mind, and we're calling that goal list building. Here's what I want you to do next. I want you to spend some time researching the people behind the media outlets that are influential to you, right? The influencers in your, so whether it's local media or national media or media specific to an industry or media specific, you know, whatever, to any, some kind of movement, right? Whatever is influential to you, and I want you to start to connect with them on Twitter, and I want you to add them to Twitter lists. Why? Because now when you go into Twitter to do engagement, you go to that Twitter list, right? So you make sure that you're retweeting and sharing and commenting on as many tweets as possible from the people on that Twitter list. You want your name to be on the top of mind as often as possible. Because when they get that pitch, when you reach out to them and say, hey, it's National Healthy Foot Month and I have a product I think you may want to share, you want them to think, hey, I remember Christina. She's really active on my Twitter account. Right? And believe me, I manage Twitter accounts for some people. I know who's active on my clients' Twitter accounts. I know who's active on my Twitter accounts. I know who shares, likes, and comments. And this time it seems simple, but it is simple, right? There's so much more to this strategy across other platforms, but I want you to start to put all of this together, right? Are you starting to see how this starts to work together? So there's a really important component to this that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's perceived influence. When someone checks you out on social media as a result of these strategies, you need to check out, right? So referring back to phase one, right? You need to have a strategic posting plan and a strategic plan for growth. I have over 80,000 Twitter followers, and that was done really strategically and very systematically and takes me very little time in the course of a week. But when I pitch to speak at a conference and tweet to the person in charge to thank them for the opportunity, I want them to be impressed when they check me out, right? They're going to check me out on Twitter because I'm tweeting them, right? And you know, if I had 200 followers and haven't tweeted in 5 years, I have no credibility, no influence. But when they see my Twitter account where I've got 80,000 plus followers and I tweet all day long, and it's not just automated stuff. I go in and I have conversations with people and I share other people's things and I share news stories, right? And all of this does not take me long every day, okay, or every week. So social media done right positions you as influential so that you're taken seriously, so that people want to get to know you and they want you to speak at their event or be included in their promotion or be on their show or in their magazine, right? Don't you wish you had access to this information 3 years ago? So you've got some more homework. Talk about, you know, we talked about creating Twitter lists for influencers. I want you to do this. I want you to, when we're done here today, I want you to go make a Twitter list. And if you don't know how to make a Twitter list, come over to the Get Seen Be Heard Facebook group and tell me this. I can show you a blog post that I wrote on how to make a Twitter list, okay? And start creating Twitter lists for these influencers and start engaging with them on a regular basis. Okay, this is a very simple way to make this moving. So what do you think, right? There's so much more we want to teach you today, but our time is short. Do you see just how powerful social media can be when it's combined with a solid PR strategy, right? You can see yourself applying these principles with our help. Are you really starting to understand that when you put a PR and social media system together, not only will you build an amazing business niche for yourself, but you'll start to generate increased sales on a consistent basis. You'll have something so few people have. That would be so amazing in your business, right? So I'm not exactly sure why you showed up today, but I'm going to try and guess. Maybe like Christina shared in the Barbara Corcoran story, you know that with some strategy, you can take your social media marketing to new levels, right? Maybe you're ready to take your business to the next level and you want to be the best in your business. Or maybe you just want to be told what to do and how to do it to provide that added level of service and get the attention you deserve. Or maybe you want to stand out from the crowd and really nail the support you provide so that your clients and your customers feel that they're working with the best in the business. And now you might be thinking, okay, Kara, so how do I make all of this work so I can get things up and running quickly? If you're still here with us, then you know there's more for you and that this is a service that's much needed in the online marketing space. And you've got options, right? You can keep on doing what you've always done, which is often complicated and confusing to you and to your clients, right? And you know what our old friend Albert Einstein says, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or you can walk a tried and true path to success, right? The path that Christina and I have taken, the path that we frankly created, and one that we know works. You can finally get the results you want so that you can take your business to a whole new level. So I bet you can guess which option I think you should take, right? I think it's time for you to step onto the field and dominate your market with some next level social media and PR strategies. With a system that takes all of the guesswork out of implementation and grounds and secures your business with a profitable and repeatable flood of clients and customers. And remember that nothing we've shared with you today is theory. Christina and I have used every single one of these strategies to help our businesses, our multiple six-figure businesses grow, right? And to help our clients have the same successes. So did it happen overnight? No way, right? It took a lot of trial and error, but what we're most excited about is it doesn't have to take you years, right? It doesn't have to take you all that painful trial and error that we went through, because I would have really given anything for someone to have actually given me something years ago that said, let's skip all the confusion and show you exactly what you need to do. And we're not extra special, right? I wish we had access to exclusive resources and tools, but we just have a system that works. And I mean it when I say that if we can do this, you can do this too.
So Karen and I want to welcome you guys to our social media and PR program that we call SMPR. And it's just a way for you guys to stand out from the crowd, you know, to get more customers in your door.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness. Of all times.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, I can talk the talk while Christina comes back on.
Sure.
But basically, this program is to help you get more customers in your door, stay top of mind, and show them to you to position yourself as a rock star in your industry and blow your competition out of the water by being in front of potential customers all the time. And you've heard us say this before, right? More visibility equals more customers, and more customers equals more profit. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course right now. And while Christina tries to come back on, basically what we've created is a monthly membership program. And it is, okay, so here we are. So Christina, you want to jump back in on this?
Oh, guys, oh my gosh. Oh, all right. Yeah, so what we have, everything's online. It's all digital. They're all short, actionable modules. You know, I hate when I buy a course and it's like, oh, for the next 20 hours, we need you to watch all these videos. No, 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 no. Everything is boom, boom, boom. Watch this part of it, take action, see results. Most of the courses are 50 credits. There's all kinds of things in there about social media and PR. We're adding new ones all the time. I'm working on a branding one right now. We actually have an industry-specific track that will be in there for realtors, and we'll probably do that for other ones too. And then there's an option for a VIP group, which has a private Facebook group and live Q&A calls with us. And I mean, that right there is worth like every penny, because Karen and I are live on there working with you on hooks, working with you on your Facebook page. We just helped one of our students have a new tagline for her company, which was amazing. So that's our strength. That's what we're really good at. People pay us $500 an hour, and you guys get us twice a month, both of us live, and you get to come in for calls. It's not like you just have to listen to a group coaching call. We let you raise your hand or type in questions. So this is how it works. It's $49 a month, gets you 50 credits, or $69 a month, gets you 50 credits, plus the private Facebook group, plus the 2 phone calls a month. So it's amazing. The courses in there are great. People are just having incredible success. Oops, see, I'm a mess on the slideshow. So there's one bonus, there's the next bonus. But bottom line, what we're seeing is when you know how to do this, when you know how to combine PR and social media together, it will increase your revenues.
Yeah, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that. I mean, here's some things some of our students are saying. Mind-blowing info. I'm already thinking of ways to use it in my business. Super excited, wondering what you all have in store for us. Samira is on our calls a lot, which is fun. We also have Michelle. So she loves how everything's broken down into bite-sized chunks of learning. I don't know if Christina mentioned this, but every module has tons of information, but it's broken down into short videos. So we know you're busy. We know you don't have an hour to sit and watch. I mean, you've already sat with us for an hour here, right? We want you to be able to watch one video while you're having your coffee in the morning and another video while you're eating your lunch, so that at the end of the module, you've got everything, but it's in bite-sized pieces. And then you can jump into our Q&A calls to, ask any questions you might have about this. We have click Jet. So amazing, practical, good information. The resources are amazing. My big takeaway for today is how to use the client intake form on her business. She's so ready to get seen and be heard. So we hope that you got a ton out of this course today. I mean, that's what we wanted. We wanted you to come here and get lots and lots of information. And if you're good and you're ready to roll with this, then we are thrilled, because that's why we're here today. But if you want more, if you want to take the next step with Christina and I, we want to make it really easy for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer you 50% off the first month. So I put a link in the under the webinar, and for those of you on YouTube, I'll put it in the comments. If you go to www.socialmediaandpr.com and use the coupon code 50. Oh, well, Christina, we're giving it to them for $20, not 50% off, because we didn't change the slide. So you guys are getting an extra bonus. Instead of getting it for 50% off, you're getting it for $20. Okay, you're getting it for $20. If you use code SMPR20, you can get this program for the first month for $20. So you get an extra bonus on this. So go to socialmediaandpr.com, use the coupon code SMPR20, and you get in this program, you get the first month, and that's the VIP level. So for $20, you get to download one course, you get all the free bonuses that you get upon registration, you join the Facebook group, and you get to be in probably at least 2 of the Q&A calls that we do before your next month comes up. Now, there's no contract on this. We're not locking you in for a year. If you decide after the first month, that's it, you're good, you've got everything you need to know, you just cancel your membership and we're all good. But we think you're going to stay, because we've got lots of great courses in the library. And then what will happen is next month, you'll get another 50 credits, and you can open up whichever course in the library you think is valuable to you.
This is why I really like this.
So kind of hang around for a little bit and take some questions.
And Karen, the one thing we didn't even talk about with all the slide issues and stuff, or all the bonus videos. When you first sign up, there's a ton. Once you sign up for the first month, you get tons of free, like how to do a press kit, how to set certain things up. Like there's all kinds of stuff in there that are bonuses just for joining the first month.
That's another reason why when we were talking about this and Karen was telling me about what you guys were developing, I was so excited about this. For myself, as well as for a lot of business owners that I meet when I'm giving webinars and when I'm doing live training myself and workshops at different places. There's so many people that are confused about what to do. They hear certain things, but I mean, I took 8 pages of notes, you guys. So this was really, really good. And I mean, I know a lot of this, I'm involved with a lot of this, and I still took notes because, some of the things that you went over, again, people hear it, but maybe they don't really hear it. They're not really practicing it. And it really bears repeating that, there is some work. It's not something that's snap overnight, but it's very strategic and it's very formulaic in a way that if you follow the advice that you guys gave today, you're on path. You're definitely on path.
Well, and you know what else, Patty? What we're finding in the group, and this is just a bonus people are getting, is they've got a little bit of accountability, right? Because if they come in the Facebook group and they're like, all right, I took the Twitter course and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, I'll reach out and go, okay, Susie, how's that going? You know, so not only, you know, a lot of us entrepreneurs and small business owners, we operate in a bubble, right? We sit in our dining room, we work on our business, and we don't really have as much support. So in addition to getting the training, you've got a whole community to support you around all of this.
Yeah, I love that.
You've got a whole community to support you around all of this. So it's really, that's really one of the biggest things that I think our people are seeing, in addition to getting the training itself. And a lot of it is just like, I know I should be using Facebook. I just don't know what to do, right? Like I've gone to, I mean, how many of you guys have gone to restaurants and they send you every morning, every Monday morning, you see all the specials for the week, right? So they know that they should be using Facebook, but what they don't know is with a little tweak and a little scheduling, they can put Tuesday special to come out at 5 o'clock on Tuesday just when I'm getting hungry.
Right, exactly.
That's much more strategic, and it's going to bring more people in their door, as opposed to I'm using Facebook and it doesn't work, right? So yeah, that's the kind of things people are learning in this program.
Yep, it's a great value, and again, that's why I was drawn to it, because it's always something that I'm looking for to help connect people with good resources and things that are affordable for small business owners, and that they're going to work. It's not just talking about it, you know, it's not whatever, like you said, it's actionable and practical, and it works.
Right. And honestly, where are you going to get this for $20? I mean, for $20, you get month one, you get me and Christina for a whole month, you get the Facebook group, you get the Q&A calls, you get at least one course, and you get all the free bonuses, free bonus material. That's an unbelievable value for $20. So like, what do you have to lose, right? $20. Right. What do you have to lose? And again, we think you're going to love it. And we think you're going to stay.
And that's not even one bag of groceries. Are you kidding me? That's less than one bag of groceries for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people are sticking with us. People are sticking with us because they love the support. Even if, listen, if you're in a business and you know you need a business coach and you're just really not in a position to really hire someone right now, you know, for $70 a month, not only are Christina and I there, but there's lots of smart people in our group, and, you know, people jump in and support each other. So it's really, really, really cool. And we're continually adding to the library. So if you go to social media and the PR right now, you'll see what we have in the library, but we've got another course that's getting added hopefully this week. And that is how to make money using speaking to support your business, right? So get seen and be heard with speaking. So we're expanding it out beyond just the how do I use Facebook, right? We're trying to find, you know, we're listening to your feedback and trying to provide courses that we think will be really valuable. And we know a lot of good people, and this speaking course is actually a guest course, being a guest instructor being taught by somebody who, you know, forget $500 an hour. She charges, I think it's $10,000 to start working with her, right, Christina?
Yeah, $10,000. Yep.
Yeah. And she's putting a course in there, I think it'll be in there this week, on how to use speaking to support your business and to support your income. So really, really good stuff, you guys. I hope that we see some of you in the course. Does anybody else have any questions? Patty, is there anything we didn't answer that you have questions about?
No, I mean, I like the way that you laid it out, you know, the reasoning behind the decisions, because again, a lot of times you can give people advice about what to do, but you got to know what the reason is. You got to know what the goal is. So I was really glad that you mentioned that over and over again, in fact, and also that you mentioned over and over again how this is measurable. You have that chart that you gave out. People can compose their own charts, but you can see that by changing and tweaking the kind of content, that making it valuable, that word is so important. Your content has to be valuable. And I'm also a credentialed journalist, so I'm sort of listening from both sides of the fence as a marketer and as a journalist, because it's really true. When I was regularly writing for different publications, my editor would come up to me sometimes last minute, and I would have to find somebody to fill in the slot to be a resource that I would pull a quote from. Other times there were editorial calendars planned way in advance, and you know, you'd go through the list of people that you came across during the course of people sending you emails, and you'd have that file. So, you know, again, you can't be quoted unless someone knows about you. You can't have your product or your service do well unless people know about you. So from the marketing perspective, and from the, you know, just as a reader and a writer, you want to be part of that really good story. Christina, you said it best in the beginning. You see an ad on one page, and 2 pages later you see another article where people are being listed as a great resource. You're going to naturally be gravitated to that person who's quoted in the article. So even if you're a shy person and you don't want to be on TV and you don't want to be on radio, to get quoted in the media, in an article, in a blog, in a local magazine or newspaper is gold. So I think you guys did a fabulous job, and I want to thank you so much for sharing so much of your time and keeping on with it, even though you had a bunch of different challenges, tech challenges.
Well, Hattie, thank you so much for having us here. And for those of you that are listening, we're going to make sure you can get a replay to this. And we'll make sure the coupon code gets extended through the replay. But it is a limited time offer because we can't offer this for $20 for much longer. So
when do they need to make a decision by? Because I know how this works, and they do too. You have an offer and it's a limited time. How much time do they have to make a decision?
Well, it depends on what I decide to put in there. I mean, I would say they have 48 hours.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is when we'll make the replay available for, because I get that people aren't always available right away to watch the replay. So we'll make the replay and the coupon available for 48 hours. We hope to see you in there. We hope to see you in the program, and we want to be talking about you. We want to be bragging about you on our next
exactly.
webinar.
I want to be mentioned in one of those, in one of your examples.
We have a realtor in Boston. Oh my gosh, she was in like the week 3 of her 3rd week in the program. She was on the radio. She was on like a FM radio station.
FM radio, yeah.
And she was a nervous wreck, but she killed it, and she got a ton of visibility, which hopefully will bring her a ton of business. So we want to be talking about stories like that about you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Christina and Karen.
All right. Thanks so much, you guys. You'll get the replay in your email shortly. Take care, everyone.
Okay. Bye.